Hey, Canuck fans. Welcome to the Line Change Podcast, a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network. We're going over an article that gives us more trade speculation on one player in particular. In fact, I'm hearing right now that this player is gaining the most traction when it comes to trade talks and the Vancouver Canucks. And that's, of course, our boy, Chief Kiefer Sherwood. Yes, this is unsettling and even upsetting to some, myself included. But a lot of teams are going to want a guy like Kiefer Sherwood, not only in their lineup, but on their roster, especially when it comes to playoffs. We all saw how much of a pain Sherwood was to play against when he was on Nashville and playing against us in the first round of the playoffs. You know, that's part of the reason why Quinn Hughes went to management and said, go out and sign this guy. I don't want to play against him anymore. Not just for how good he is and what he brings to the table, but his locker room presence as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the article and dissect it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. This article is, of course, coming from our friends at Canucks Army, Tyson Cole in particular. Also, I'll leave a link to the article in the description down below so you guys can check it out yourselves. But let's go ahead and take a look at a snippet from this article to start things off. The Vancouver Canucks sent an email to the other 31 NHL teams on Monday evening, informing them that they're making some of their NHL veterans at this time, not including Quinn Hughes, available for trade. Now, according to Donnie and Dolly, and Rick Dollywall in particular, Kiefer Sherwood may be the first player to fall. And this is a quote, quote, I am certainly hearing this morning that the player getting the most traction is Kiefer Sherwood. He could be the first to move here. He's leading the team in goals, with 12. NHL hits leader. They have no offers going back and forth with the agent. They don't. The agent is going to ask for 5 or over 5 when it comes to a contract extension. The Canucks can't do that. He's a UFA at the end of the season. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next bit of this article as it continues. And this is a quote from Elliotte Friedman. It pertains to what he spoke about just the other day that we talked about in that particular video. And this is Elliotte Friedman right here saying, so you start to sit there and figure out what this means. Well, I think it means the UFAs. He's referring to what Jim Rutherford was explaining. And when it comes to, or basically the whole, Canucks are open for business thing, they're obviously referring to the UFAs. And he goes on to say, I think Sherwood absolutely is at the top of that list because not only is he not signed yet for next year, but he's a really good player. And as I just said, and if you're a playoff team and you look at the number he's at, he's very desirable. Sherwood is off to a career-high goal-scoring pace, leading the Canucks with 12 goals through 23 games this season. He's added 4 helpers to bring his total to 16 on the season, good for the third highest in team scoring. The 30-year-old winger shattered the NHL record for hits last season with 462. He currently sits second in the league with 98, trailing only Minnesota Wild forward Yakov Trenin. Guys, remember that guy? Who has 107. Sherwood is on pace to finish with 349 hits this season, over 100 fewer than his record-breaking 24-25 season. Obviously, we know Sherwood has, kind of toned down the hits a little bit and is more focused on scoring, at least from what we've seen through the first 23 games of the season. In the final year of his 2-year, $3 million contract, carrying a $1.5 million AAV, he signed with the Canucks in the 2024 offseason. Sherwood will become a UFA in the summer. Canucks first took an interest in Sherwood when they saw him firsthand in the playoffs after their Round 1 series against the Nashville Predators in the 23-24 season. His hard-hitting, physical game translates perfectly to playoff-style hockey. Now that we've dissected all of that, that begs the obvious question. What's the cost? What is Sherwood's going rate right now when it comes to a trade? What are the Canucks going to ask for or are asking for in return? Well, we've got the answer right here from the Athletics' Thomas Drance, or at least an idea of what the Canucks are thinking. Let me bring up Drance's little snippet. It's very small. In recent reports from the Athletics' Thomas Drance, it sounds like the Canucks have set the minimum price on their forward. Vancouver will want at least a second-round pick back if it's going to consider trading Sherwood. So there is the supposed asking price. It starts at a minimum a second-round pick. I totally see that. I do not blame the Canucks whatsoever that it should start with a second-round pick. I don't see his value being any lower than that. And I mean, if someone were to offer the Canucks a third-round pick for, 1-for-1 for Sherwood, I would laugh in their freaking face because I'm sorry, Kiefer Sherwood is worth more than a freaking third-round pick. You could even probably make the argument that Sherwood could be potentially worth a first-round pick even at the the way he's played so far this season. You could definitely make that argument. Wouldn't be easy, but you could still make it, at least in my opinion. Anyway, so yeah, the going rate, at least from what it seems like right now, is at least a second-round pick to start a conversation with the Canucks over Kiefer Sherwood. Obviously, as you guys know, and as I've mentioned, I'm a big fan of Kiefer Sherwood. I've been saying since the offseason that they need to re-sign this guy. They cannot let this guy slip through their fingers, slip through the cracks like Pius Suter did. They cannot let this guy walk in free agency for free. But hey, if he gets traded before then, at least they would, not make the same mistake with Pius Suter that they did. But it's really going to suck if this actually happens and Sherwood does get shipped out at some point between now and the trade deadline. It's obviously going to have a lot of Canuck fans, in a fuss. They're going to be upset. They're going to be unhappy. But at the same time, we got to look at the bigger picture. As painful as it is to part ways with a player the caliber of Kiefer Sherwood, the Canucks want to get younger. If he were to, say, get a second-round pick in a trade, I don't think the Canucks are going to do a 1v1 second-round pick for Sherwood. They might want, additional draft pick or maybe even a rostered player. I do think that Kiefer Sherwood will not get you a second-line center straight up. You're going to need to add stuff to a package if you want to use Sherwood to try and get you a 2C. You're just not going to probably get him straight up unless a team that is in playoff contention wants to give up a bona fide 2C. Not that I think that they would or should, because that would be a little silly and quite the steep price, especially since Kiefer Sherwood isn't a center himself. I mean, if Sherwood were a center and could, replace that second line center that they end up giving up, then yeah, cool. But Sherwood's not a center. So I don't think a contending team is going to do that. But it does make you wonder who are potential destinations for Kiefer Sherwood. Right now, right off the top of my head, I can, believe it or not, actually Anaheim comes to mind. I mean, Sherwood has played in Anaheim before. I think Anaheim's pretty good. I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to Anaheim in particular, but I think they're pretty good on the wing. But hey, you can always use a guy like Kiefer Sherwood. So Anaheim comes to mind when it comes to a potential destination. Maybe even, I don't know, say Detroit maybe. Perhaps, I mean, I know the Oilers have, been thinking about Sherwood when it comes to the Canucks. That could be a destination, but then right now the Oilers are kind of in the crapshoot right now, at least after that last game. They're not as bad as us, but they got their own problems to iron out. So none come to mind. None of the teams come to mind. Let me know in the comment section down below what teams do you think would be in on the Kiefer Sherwood sweepstakes. And yes, we're calling them the Kiefer Sherwood sweepstakes, or the bidding war, as like I've seen on social media a little bit. People are talking about this being that Kiefer Sherwood is going to start a bidding war between teams. Let me know in the comment section down below which teams do you think will be involved in this bidding war. I mean, you would think most teams, if not all 31 other teams, are going to be, wanting a piece of that Sherwood pie. So not that I blame them at all either. But once again, let me know in the comment section down below who you guys think would be a good, not necessarily a good destination, but a potential destination for Kiefer Sherwood. But let me go ahead and thank my sponsors, do my sponsor read. First up, I want to give a shout out and thank you to Gassy Jack Art, maker of this amazing artwork you see in the background. And you guys can check him out yourselves at gassjackart.com. There is a link to his website in the description down below. Next up, I also want to give another thank you and shout out to my primary sponsor, none other than DraftKings. The Line Change Podcast is a presentation brought to you by DraftKings. Spinorama's Michigan goals, a wicked sprawling save across the crease, or even a jaw-dropping glove save. Live and breathe all the highlight moments with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets, and your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. All right. Let's get back to the Kiefer Sherwood conversation. I'm just going to search something up, see if there's more in regards to Sherwood. Just wait for this to load. Let's like I said, go after. We were just kind of talking about, potential destinations. I gave you guys a few just off the top of my head. Well, we're going to take a look. I'm going to take a look at this article that shows that the Toronto Maple Leafs could very well be a potential destination for Kiefer Sherwood. And that obviously all depends on if the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be sellers or not, as after all, the Maple Leafs have not had a very good season up until this point, much similar to the Canucks. But this is an article from the Hockey Writers that talks about 3 potential trade targets, but we're going to, as I mentioned, focus on Kiefer Sherwood in particular. But it says here, adding a scoring depth player like Sherwood to their lineup makes them, he believes, a deeper team. And if he fits, it shouldn't take much to get an extension done with him. While he isn't a Mitch Marner replacement, he adds some extra scoring and makes up for some of the lost production from Marner after he joined the Vegas Golden Knights this past offseason. So there's a potential destination right there, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's take a look at another one that I just saw. This is the Boston Bruins, or a potential trade destination for Kiefer Sherwood. All right, when the Bruins' lineup is for could use an upgrade at the right wing. Sherwood would certainly provide them with just that if acquired, as he could slot nicely on their line. Furthermore, he would also give the Bruins another option to work with for both their power play and penalty kill. With Sherwood being a player who provides both offense and plenty of grit, he could be an awesome fit on a Bruins club looking to get back into the playoffs this year. So there's another two potential destinations, the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Once again, let me know in the comment section down below, who do you guys think will win this bidding war for Kiefer Sherwood if the Canucks do actually end up trading him? Now, obviously, they haven't full-on said they're going to trade Kiefer Sherwood, but he's gaining traction. So it sounds like teams are calling on Kiefer Sherwood. And if the right, package is offered to the Canucks are very likely going to be enticed to take it, or very well may just take it and just, say, here you go. But this is just the unfortunate predicament that the Canucks find themselves in. They still need that 2C that they've been looking for since January of earlier this year, like when JT Miller was traded. They weren't able to do it in the offseason. They haven't been able to do it up until now. Obviously, Hedl being out, they were not expecting. The Lucas Reichel experiment absolutely freaking failed and was a complete disaster, and in my opinion, was a complete freaking waste of time. Like, what was the point of signing Reichel if now you already got him on the block? Like, ridiculous. But that's my personal take on it. I just think it was a unneeded move, and you gave up a 4th round pick. Yes, it was a 4th round pick, and probably doesn't mean much, but it's still a draft pick that you gave up for that guy. Obviously, we haven't really seen much from Kampf yet, but it's only been a few games, so I'm gonna extend his leash a little bit. I mean, if you think Reichel, if you guys remember, I was really high on the Reichel train and thinking like, this guy's got something. Just give him some more time. Well, my patience is run out with Reichel. I'm off that train. I have jumped off that train and rolled in the dirt to get away. So I'm done with that. I wouldn't say I'm on the Kampf train, but I'm going to give him a little bit of leash and a little bit of leeway. Hopefully we can actually start seeing him doing something, and he's actually, noticeable on the ice, something he hasn't really all that much. But that is this video going over Kiefer Sherwood gaining traction as a potential trade piece, and perhaps from what we're hearing from this article, he could very well be the first player shipped out, possibly within the next week, 2 weeks, couple weeks, the next month. Who knows? Who knows when the trigger will be pulled on a Kiefer Sherwood trade, but there's a very high chance that he gets dealt, which, as I said before, absolutely sucks. He's a fan favorite. Everybody loves Chief Keef, and it would just suck absolutely. It would be absolutely, numbing to lose a guy like this who has done so much for this team, especially this season, and just to be forced to give them away because the team is that bad, and cannot win for the life of them, and they're having to sell off veterans because they want to get younger, as Jim Rutherford keeps on referring. Get younger, get younger, get younger. But I digress. I've rambled a little bit too much. But if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. You can find and interact with us on social media. We're everywhere on social media: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, even Blue Sky. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. Speaking of social media platforms, join our Discord. Join the discussion. There is a link to the Discord in the description down below. It's completely free to join. You don't have to pay anything. Come be a part of the conversation. Let's talk Canucks. Let's talk, hockey in general. Let's talk, more stuff about Sherwood and potential trades. Go ahead. It's all there on the Discord. Once again, it's completely free to join. If you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcast. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow as well as rate and review us. It is, of course, greatly appreciated. And that's going to do it for this most recent video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, let's go Canucks. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Hey, Campoli missed the puck. Ryan Johnson just gets it out. And you stuff the puck back in. Campoli trying to clear it. Burrow shoots. Score!